What up? It's your boy T-Bird here in reaction. But today's Wrestling Wednesday, and I wanted to check this video out because it's about what I am always down for, whatever. Know what I mean? And that is the faces. So I saw Ross and he checked out a video that was called "The Best Heels of 2000 to the currently," and you know, that's not happening. Especially top one's the one that I was a fan of when he was face and King Hill, and I had to, not like him. Not like him because, I don't like him, but he's a heel. Because I'm traditionalist. I root for the faces and boo the heels. Know what I mean? People, no matter how much people give me shit for it, how much groups I get kicked out of over this shit, I'm going to stick to my guns. I mean, I have my reasons, was mentally or personally. I don't root for the good. I don't root for the bad guys. I don't root for the villains. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing personal. This is all it is. All right. I got love for the people behind the characters, but I don't. But character wise, I'm not gonna root for them. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a wrestling fan. People think I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do as a wrestling fan. So whatever. But all in all, I am for the faces. I shouldn't be villainized for being for the faces or being one-sided. We ain't gotta worry about them. I'm been banned from that group. That group. FJTN, not everybody, not even the podcast, but a good handful, almost more than a handful, including a certain admin. But that's another story. Other than that, though, this right here is what I'm all about. Face. Well, I'm not gonna say face shit no more, because the reason why I say face shit, it was about two people yelling hill shit, then and all that. Well, another person will say village shit only, but now people are taking it to that. I'm into ass eating. No, I'm not into that. That. So, people, or I want shit on my face. Like, really? Anyway, so like I said, say face for life. How about that? Maybe I say that. Face for life. There we go. Anyway, this is the best face from every year in WWE from 2000 to 225. And it ain't easy to be a face. Let's just say that. In this era and age, it ain't easy to be a face. As I say, why deal with trying to be about the faces? Folks give you crap for not rooting for the heels. They all about the heels. The heels are more related. The heels are this. The heels are more entertaining. I get that, whatever for you. But for me, I'm the traditionalist. I'm for the good guys and heroes. I want to be a good guy and hero. I want to be embraced by the good hero. I don't want to condone the bad guys. I want to condone the good guys. I want to relate to them. That's me. So other than that, and like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy because so many people. Because so many people say the heels are more related. Heels are more fun, or heels won't do this and that. Know what I'm saying? And there's people who are beloved heels. Most recently, it was Naomi at the time. It was, and here's the thing. I feel like, and I get that, whatever. But at the same time, whatever. They're still the bad guy. So I'm doing my job as a fan. That's all I have. So don't knock me for it. But anyway, especially can't knock me for this as I'm for the good guys. So let's get this started on the road. The best babyface from every year since 2000. Let's get it.
In a recent video, we looked at the top heels for every year
of the
21st century in WWE.
Yeah, boo the heels.
But what about the flip side?
Of course.
What about the biggest baby faces of each year? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at right now.
Cool.
Starting with the biggest face of 2000.
Before I go there, let me check out the comments on each one real quick as well too, just because. Hey, check the comments. Ain't craziness going on here. It's funny when I found out with some of the found out about one of them as well too. But let's check this out. Yeah.
The Rock.
Definitely, yeah. Facts. Definitely, because that was the year I was getting back in. Fully back in the wrestling for the full as well too. I took a break in wrestling one time as a kid. Had a hard time trying to watch it and as well too, and trying to keep up. But yeah, but around this time when I was fully engaged, Rock was the man around this time for sure, yo. You cannot. He was he was the most electrifying man. The crowd they'll pop when he comes out well too. Only person you can argue with is Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I feel like Rock was the bigger face around this time. So yeah, definitely.
Yes, if there were any year in WWE history which truly belonged to Dwayne Johnson, then this was the one, as it was here that he truly ascended to the level of ace of the company. Sure, part of the reason for that is because Stone Cold Steve Austin spent most of it on the shelf as a result of neck fusion surgery, But this shouldn't suggest that the Great One was
No,
a
not at
cheap
all.
option. No, back in 2000, The Rock was pretty much right there on the same level of the Rattlesnake regardless, and this showed in how much fans loved him here and how he spent such a large portion of this 12-month period, arguably WWE's greatest ever creatively, with the world title around his waist. Come 2001, though, even The Rock would have fallen to second place once more, as that year, following his return to the ring, the best face was undoubtedly Steve Austin.
Now this one is definitely arguably because I think he had both a good run as a face, and I think he was a heel. I think this is around the same time he also turned a heel too, selling out to first selling out to Vince McMahon, then later on, then later on, the situation with the Alliance was that that was that year. That was that year, I think. Let me see. When the day 9/11 happened was on 2021. 9/11 year. It was 2001. Yep. So yeah, he had a great. So I think somebody even said in the comment that he was also the top heel in 2001 too. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's how good Austin was. He had good run on both sides. Well, too. Yeah, his return with the Glass Shatter theme. Oh yes. Oh yes. That was that. He gets pops every day. That's probably why he's on his tour too, because he was still getting pops even though he was a heel. But as a babyface, the pops was crazy. The pops was crazy, yo.
Now, if Austin was the best babyface of 1997, 1998, and 1999, the only reason he didn't get that spot in 2000 was because he wasn't there for most of it. So after he made his comeback, he was obviously going to be the top babyface all over again in 2001. Sure, he may have spent most of this year as a heel following his turn at WrestleMania 17, but for what he did during those first few months alone, his spot still applies.
Facts.
Hell, even that brief return he had during the lead up to Invasion during the summer was hotter than anything else anyone was doing in 2001. Honestly, it's all just a testament to how beloved the Rattlesnake was back then. And what about 2002? Well, for our money, that was the one which belonged to Rob Van.
Definitely. And you can even see it before. You can even see it before it happened. It was going to happen, cause he was literally one of the very few of the Lions that was treated low key as a face. Only time he has a heel moment was in his association with the Lions. That's about it. Other than that, majority of the time he was a face. The fans loved him. It's between him, Kidman, and Hurricane was like the three guys that was like the face. The face was technically face, or you can say Twitter, but technically face, but the effective heels because of the Lions for sure, yo. But yes, in that storyline, bro, he had his year. Oh yes.
And damn, yes, RVD technically started getting over big time in 2001 when he joined the WWF roster as part of the Invasion. But it wasn't like his momentum had stalled at all by the time 2002.
Oh yes.
No, if anything, he was even hotter here, with fans still desperate to see him win the world title. And while he wouldn't do that for a few years yet, he would.
Of course, because that damn Reign of Terror we dealt with. I know he gotta be. I know the hillside hit. I know this guy had to be the best heel to consider the best heel on the other side. Well, I'll let y'all watch it on your own.
Breakout superstar here, and easily the most popular person on the roster. But would that be the same in 2003? Well, no, because for as great as Van Dam remained then, by the time that year came around, another outside star.
Goldberg, yep.
A man who goes by the name of Goldberg.
I'm about to watch. Well, he probably left them around time, but I'm still watching Horos's one too. And the one how you gonna feel about Goldberg. You know how you feel about Goldberg. But at the same time, it ain't as bad as he don't hate him as bad as he hate Ryback. He just don't like older. He don't like Goldberg. He probably like Goldberg, but don't like Goldberg as he called him.
That's right. After skipping out on the entire Invasion, Goldberg chose 2003 as his time to finally
and getting that Time Warner money with the rest of them. You already know. You know how that was. That Time Warner fucked things up for the Invasion angle so much. I mean, they had some way to make up for it. They made up for it pretty good, but at the same time, it could have been so better if that Time Warner shit didn't fuck things up for them.
debut in WWE. And when he did, mostly on account of people still being nostalgic for his WCW run, he became a huge babyface act in WWE immediately upon arrival.
Yep.
Sure, his booking wouldn't be very good, but none of this stopped the Tulsa native from being a fan favorite everywhere he went.
Right.
It's just a shame he didn't stay around for longer during this run then, because had he done so, he could have easily been the biggest babyface of 2004 as well. As he wasn't there past the spring, however, that mantle instead.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Come on now.
And thank you confirming that he was a face on his time. Because a lot of people say he wasn't really a face because he was too much. Like, he was a face. Like, he's a face. See? And this is what I liked about his face turn long. Same with Austin. And you say Rock. It wasn't in the box that folks want to put baby faces in now these days. You know, another thing about the reason why baby faces are in the box, because fans do them their damn self as well too. But yes,
oh, it had to be Eddie here.
Of course.
After all, this was the year when he hit his peak as a babyface when he defeated Brock Lesnar to become WWE champion at No Way Out in February, in the process creating one of the greatest feel-good moments in wrestling.
Yes,
history.
he did.
So really, there's no other reasonable choice for this one. No, if there was ever a 12-month period where Eddie felt like he was on top of the world.
I'm sorry, that segment was funny when he was wrecking Teddy Carr. I think it was Kurt Angle. Oh, that segment so. One more time. This is not Kurt Angle's car. This is my car. Yes.
The hero to the people, then this was it. But what of 2005? Would Guerrero be able to keep that momentum going into the next year too? Well, he would to some degree. It wouldn't be enough to stop him being picked as the top babyface in WWE
yes.
by Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Woohoo! Which saw the rise of two of WWE's
Yeah, this definitely could be argued. To be honest, 2005 could be very arguable between Batista and Cena. So, yeah, it was definitely arguable between them two. So, yeah, it could be the one. But I guess, but you had to give it to Batista just because, you know. I mean, Cena was having this good run too, but you had to give it to Batista at the time, yo. He was red hot going at the 100 and all that, yes.
Stars. That said, while it would be John Cena who ended up having more longevity, at this point, the Animal seemed to slightly edge Cena in terms of fan response. And a large part of the reason for that was because 2005 saw the culmination of his excellent program with Triple H.
Yes.
Probably the best storyline of that era.
Yes.
With things closing out at WrestleMania with Big Dave holding the World Heavyweight title over his head. Truly, this has to be the peak of Batista's career overall. Come 2006, however, that mantle would once more have passed on to someone else, a far more developed star who fans got behind on account of his underdog antics in Rey Mysterio. Just look at the fact that this is the year he not only won the Royal Rumble, but also then went on to WrestleMania to beat both Kurt Angle and Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight title. Sure, part of it was Rey's close ties to Eddie Guerrero, someone who had by then passed away before his time. But not just anyone could have been put in that role of the Latino Heat tribute act and succeeded. No, it took someone like Mysterio, who fans believed in so much, largely on account of the fact that he was not just incredibly talented in the ring, but was also a very personable guy to watch and be around. Sadly, though, for as beloved as he was as a good guy, the disastrous booking of Rey's World Heavyweight title run would not see him remain at the top of the babyface pile heading into 2007. No, that year it would be all about the undisputed promotion by then, John Cena. Yes, John Cena may have been a very polarizing figure, and we mean this in the sense that while younger fans tended to love him, adult males were starting to boo him at points around this time.
Never understood that. I don't care. Even you say the things I say, I never somebody say that I'm being whatever about the Roman. Never understand that. I mean, that's when I started not understanding fans around the time. This was first, but Roman was definitely the next one. That's why I could not understand fans anymore.
Still, though, even if this is the case, he has to be our pick for top hero of the year. Why is that? Well, there was just no one else who was on his level of stardom back then.
Facts.
And this was exactly the reason he spent the vast majority of the year as WWE champion. Hell, the only reason he even dropped the belt before the year was out because an injury forced him to leave for a few months so he could go get surgery. But while he would be back in time for 2008, Big Match John would not be the top babyface of that year. No, that year a new superstar would be on the card, someone who fans were already very familiar with then, Jeff Hardy.
Yo, this was definitely his year, though. Oh, yeah. He had his year on 2008, man.
There was a time when Jeff Hardy was one of the most over people in the entire wrestling industry. Arguably the most over. And this all reached its peak in 2008. Why is that? Well, this was the year he rose all the way to the top of the card,
Mm-hmm.
beating Triple H for the WWE title. Of course, the only reason he was given that belt, though, was because fans loved him so much, to the point
Yes.
that he was even briefly outselling John Cena at the merch stands.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, by almost all metrics, in 2008, you can make a very good case that Jeff Hardy was a bigger babyface star than Big
Yup.
Match John, which makes his subsequent flame out all the sadder. But at least for that one shining moment, he was on top of the world as a hero to the people. That said, 2009 would not be as kind to the charismatic Enigma, as that year he would be usurped as the top babyface in WWE by a somewhat surprising person.
Yup.
Triple H.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, people don't understand. A lot of people put Triple H as their top heel. Triple H has some underrated face runs, and this was one of them for sure. Other one was when he came back from the injury the first time after the invasion. That was a good underrated one too, man. Oh, yes. People don't, yeah, Triple H may be known for his heel work, but he has some underrated babyface runs. Thank you for putting him in this, yo, for real too. This year, oh yeah, especially 2009 too. I mean, a little bit 2010, but because we give it to somebody else, but 2009, come on now. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. Definitely.
And the reason it was surprising that Triple H WWE
Definitely, especially this whole invasion with Orton. Oh yes. Woo.
WWE's top face in 2009 is because, for most of his career prior to that, he'd been such an effective heel. Yes, whether it was his initial rise to the top of the card during the Attitude Era or his infamous reign of terror during the Ruthless Aggression Era, the game was almost always hated by fans. But then at the end of the decade, something happened, and Paul Levesque suddenly found himself being the hero defending his family from Randy Orton in the lead up to WrestleMania 25. And it wasn't just this program that made him such an effective babyface in 2009. No, there was also his subsequent reformation of D-Generation X with Shawn Michaels later that summer.
Yep.
Sure, this would give us
This is
more
definitely one of the
mode Triple H than he
I ain't gonna lie, this was one of the underrated best run. Like I'll say, I'll say this is a second best run. The top run is always gonna be the DX Army, I should say, when he had Road Dogg, X-Pac, and Billy Gunn along with Wall 2. Then their first initial run, they was considered heels. I really thought it was. I would say it was mostly twins most of the time. Only time his heel was their initiation, and then his feud with Austin. That's about it. Because they fight. Was other times they was going against other heels like the Nation of Domination and the Heart Foundation, who gave the name, the Heart Foundation, who gave the name to Generation X as well too. Now the one during his little early 2001, here it is. Even if I was a heel fan, I would still make that my least favorite one. Cause at first it's like, yeah, they was a badass against the Authority one, and then they happened to end up kissing ass to the Authority. Where Degeneration is supposed to be against the Authority, how you going to end up kissing ass to the Authority with the whole McMahon? I mean, I get it. It's his way to get into the family. I mean, it worked there first, and then when Vince and all got along with it, it's like, you just pretty much sold out. Anyway, if you think about it in a way. But let's keep going.
But it was a mode fans were all
This minute is 7 minutes and I made it 18 minutes, so yeah. You know how I am with these videos.
in on at that point in time. Of course, it wouldn't be enough to see him go into the next decade still being the top
Who
hero
is
in
it, though?
WWE. No, by the time
Going back to Cena. Yep. Run back to Cena. Yep.
Yes, so much did his loyal fans love Big Match John back in 2010. It didn't matter if he
Yup.
was being rejected.
I
by
think
the
this is
of the audience.
this is when the time when he had that run. Great. I think this is when he had a great run that year. Yup.
And that was exactly why, like years prior, he'd be the most focused upon act in the entire promotion, and the man who spent a large portion of the year with the top prize around his waist.
Yup.
Hell, even when he didn't have the belt, he'd still be booked stronger than any other
Yup.
babyfaces on the roster. And it was frustrations over this which led to our top babyface of 2011 taking
Yes.
Who are we talking about here? Why,
Yes.
CM Punk, of course.
Yes.
Yes, this one.
The summer of the year upon after the pipe bomb and everything was supposed to be a hill was slowly giving the slow burn to turn face. Yes. That infamous look at the camera, yo. That was a cool run right there. Yes. It was so mad. I was so mad that it abruptly ended with a random ass heel turn doing the Raw 100, 1000, I guess it was, whatever that he ended up hitting the rock and he was doing people's elbow on show out of nowhere. Like, yeah, that was ridiculous.
His choice. After all, if there was ever a year which belonged to anyone in wrestling during the 21st century, then it would be 2011 and CM Punk. Sure, he might have started out the year as a heel, and his pipe bomb might not have been designed to turn him into a babyface initially, but it did do just that.
It did.
So for that reason alone, there was just no way in hell anyone was ever going to take Phil Brooks' spot as the top babyface of 2011 in all of wrestling.
Nah.
But even that wouldn't be enough to make him the top babyface of 2012. No, as the 2010s got into full swing, that pendulum would once more have shifted back over to
Cena.
Role, the continued ace of the company.
Cena.
Yes, Punk started out 2012 as the top babyface in WWE. That much is undeniable.
Yeah.
But his heel turn at Raw 1000 left the door open for someone else to take.
Yeah, I like I said, it was random as hell why they did that. I don't know why they turned the heel that quick out of nowhere. It wasn't even no build up to a heel turn. It was just out of nowhere, like.
That spot from him, and the person who ended up taking that spot was Big Match
John. Of course.
How did he do this? Well, by continuing to be the top act in the company, even when he didn't have the world title.
Exactly.
Sure, there were still some fans supporting him, but as always, his most loyal fans were all
rise above the hate.
Even losing to The Rock at WrestleMania 28 wasn't enough to stall his momentum as
no, it wasn't.
WWE. No, by 2012, it was clear that John Cena was here to stay for the long haul as the top good guy. That said, things would change momentarily in 2013.
Yes!
The babyface rise of Daniel Bryan. Now, you don't need us to tell you why 2013 was such an important year for Daniel Bryan as a babyface in WWE. Come on now, while the Yes movement may have started the prior year on the Raw after WrestleMania 28, this was the point it fully kicked into gear as fans became single-minded in their focus to see the American Dragon reach the top of the card. So crazy would it get after a while that fans took to hijacking shows and drowning out everything with a yes chance. Sure, it wouldn't be until the
and then sadly booing other guys, the babyface, including Rey Mysterio.
The whole thing reached its climax, but 2013 was crucial in getting us there. As you would expect then, when we talk about the biggest babyface of WWE in 2014, that title can only go to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, back-to-back years.
2013 was the year the Yes movement kicked into full gear. Then 2014 was the year it hit its apex, as that was when he
when he tried to turn him during the wild, like, nah, we ain't having this. Get this man back on the babyface side. Yes.
Defeated 3 members of Evolution in one night to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 30. Really, in terms of feel-good moments in WWE history, it's right up there with Eddie Guerrero and Mick Foley's big world title wins. Sure, what followed on from this would be a tragedy, as almost immediately, neck and arm injuries would force Bryan onto the shelf indefinitely and would eventually lead to temporary retirement. But the high of that spring was so high, he's still the clear biggest babyface of the year. But by the time 2015
came back to Cena.
The top face in WWE would revert once more to John Cena. Of course, what makes this year different from
the U.S. title run
was the one where sentiment from adult males in the audience largely turned around on Big Match John at last. And a big part of the reason for that was because it was here he had his iconic United States title run. Now filling a role that was a little lower down on the card and using it to help get others over, Cena was suddenly looked at differently from his haters. Truly, while it might not have been the peak of his entire career, this certainly represented a peak for John.
This stuff was a good run.
Have to consider him
this is too low-key underrated because it's not talked about as much, though. I'm saying, like I say, he put people on. Like, he literally, that entire little open challenge was bringing up guys from NXT to the main roster. Sami Zayn and the biggest one of all, Kevin Owens. So, yeah.
Babyface of 2015 then. But as far as 2016 was concerned, that year would see the rise of the lunatic fringe.
Yes.
That's right.
Here's my... Alright, I gotta say this. I don't know everybody says this, but... I know there's people that say that some people are better as heels and faces. I'm always going to say some people, I like them better as faces, but I will say this. If I didn't care, it wasn't a big deal about facing here with me, I still will say that Dean Ambrose / John Moxley face runs is always better than his heel runs. His face run here was great as the Lunatic Fringe. His face runs in AEW is way better than that Death Rider bullshit he got going on recently, and even better than the what's the damn crew called the crew that him and before he came to Death Riders, the crew with him, Dan Bryan, and Cesaro came when they went heel for a minute. That was better than that, man, for real. Let me see the name of the group. Daniel Bryan, no Brian, sorry, Brian Danielson. Brian Danielson. It's in John Moxley. What was they called again? Moxley, Cesaro. What was they called again? And Will you now they hate me now. Before it was the Death Riders. What the hell? Yeah, before that. No, before that, man. Not when it was this. The Blackpool Comic Club. There we go. Alright, so yeah. Yep, the Blackpool Comic Club. That's what it's called. Yep. BCC.
It's time for us to talk about Dean Ambrose.
Yes, but yes. Underrated.
Might have been Dean's absolute peak. Why is that? Well, this was the point he fully rose up to the top of the card post breakup of the Shield when he not only won the Money in the Bank ladder match at that year's titular pay-per-view, he also then cashed in his contract later that same evening.
Yup. Yup. Back-to-back wins from the Shield members. Roman had the title, Seth beat Roman for the title, and then he cashed in on Seth for the title. Yup. It was like the Shield night that night.
And being put in this spot made Dean the top babyface in the entire promotion. Come the autumn, though, he'd have dropped that belt to the man who would go on to become WWE's top babyface of 2017, the phenomenal one himself, AJ Styles. Now, few would have imagined AJ Styles was going to find this much success when he joined WWE the year prior, as despite being one of the best wrestlers in the world, there was always the concern that Vince McMahon just wouldn't get him. But luckily, this was not the case, and instead, by the time the year was out, he'd be holding the WWE title around his waist. And that title run carried on into 2017, too, with this being enough to make him the biggest babyface the promotion had then. Even if he'd dropped the belt early on into the year, he'd be good enough to win it back by the time October had come around.
Yep.
And that would start another lengthy reign with the gold, which only further solidified AJ's greatness. That said, by 2018, a change would be in the air, as the top babyface of that year would be a woman for the first time. The one, the only, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Come on now, there was no way anyone else could take this spot, as 2018 was the year that Becky exploded in popularity with the introduction of her new gimmick of the Man, a badass who was like the female version of Stone Cold Steve Austin for the PG era. No, her big WrestleMania main event wouldn't come until the following year.
Yeah. And crazy about that is they try to make her a heel go because after she lost to Charlotte, and fans wasn't having it, and then that little incident happens on the what's the Survivor Series against and where the under siege with her or anything when she got a nose bust or anything, that gave her a little badass moment, and they decided to make her a babyface, and it worked.
It was very much the point that the Man arrived. So the Irish woman has to go down as the best WWE.
And she had that run. That was definitely her best run.
Even if she was more anti-hero than anything else. But while Becky was still red hot in 2019, hot enough to become the undisputed women's world champion, there was a whole other pick for top babyface.
Oh yeah.
To the leader of the Mania movement himself, Kofi Kingston. Who could have foreseen this one coming just a few months prior? That Kofi Kingston, lifetime mid-card act in WWE, would suddenly catch fire in a way which made him the biggest babyface in the entire promotion. It truly took everyone off guard.
Oh yes.
And it was a star-making performance inside the Elimination Chamber in February. What happened after that? Well, with fans suddenly getting behind Kingston in a way they hadn't before, WWE scrapped their WrestleMania plans entirely.
Yes.
That's right. In a last-minute pivot, the New Day member was booked to be the one to beat Daniel Bryan.
Yes. Love it. Woo!
With this being one of the better stories we've seen in
Wish the booking was better, but yeah, it was a good moment, yo.
But what about 2020?
Yes.
By the time we got to the new decade, the world would be a very different place in need of an all-new hero. One who went by the name of Drew McIntyre.
Now, I would say that it sucks that this run had to come around time when the pandemic happened and we were secluded. Because the crowd would erupt when you guys win at WrestleMania, though. Probably why, unfortunately, we got bitter Drew right now. The bitter Scotch Drew right now. The bitter Scott crippin' Drew right now.
Yes, then it was one of the worst times to be a fan, as for the vast majority of the year, no people were allowed in attendance at shows. So this presented a challenge to try and find a babyface who could keep people engaged in new ways. And WWE would decide to run with Drew McIntyre as their guy here by having him beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania 36. Sure, what came next for Drew would be marred by the circumstances, but that didn't mean he didn't give it his all as champion.
No, he
Clear
did
choice for best
give his
babyface
all.
WWE has on their roster back then. Honestly, were it not for him, then 2020 would have been an even tougher time to tune into Raw. But let's move on from that for now and over to 2021.
Yes, Big E. Woo!
Also the year that Big E stepped up to the plate.
Yes.
WWE's top babyface. Yes, if 2019 was the year of one New Day member in WWE, then 2021 was the year of another, as this was the point Big E ascended to the level of best babyface in the entire company. How did he do so? Well, by winning the Money in the Bank ladder match at the titular pay-per-view during the summer, and then only 2 months later in September, cashing in on Bobby Lashley to become WWE Champion. Obviously then, this was a major moment for fans, as for years the Florida native had been beloved by them, so to see him get his flowers like this was almost as big of a deal for them as it was for him. To this day, in fact, this remains the clear peak of Big E's WWE run.
Unfortunately.
That said, come 2022, the landscape would have shifted again, as when we talk about the top babyface, we can only talk about Cody Rhodes. Yes, after leaving WWE behind during the mid-2010s to go on a tour of the Indies, which eventually led to him becoming a founding member of All Elite Wrestling, Cody left that company in 2021. So at that point, it became inevitable that he was going to return to WWE. And this is exactly what he did at WrestleMania 38, in the process instantly becoming the top babyface in the entire promotion. Sure, he was still a ways off from finishing his story and becoming WWE Champion quite yet, and he would spend a significant part of the year on the injury shelf after tearing his off the bone.
Injure booby. Whoo!
But the American Nightmare made enough of an impact here that he still stands
as the
best good guy WWE had on the roster, as a new era was beginning to dawn for the company. Come 2023, however, Cody would not be the top babyface. No, a far unlikelier star would take the spot this year, the most underrated architect of WWE's 2020 success, a true hero of the people in Sami Zayn. That's right, Sami's goodness got him so over with fans in 2023, particularly as this was the point of involvement in the Bloodline.
Woo!
Of course, come 2024, though, he would have hit his peak as a hero and would have been replaced by a man who'd come back to finish his story. The undisputed top babyface Triple H had in his arsenal during that calendar year. That's right, we're going back to Cody Rhodes. Yes, this has to represent the peak of the hot streak WWE are undergoing during the 2020s so far. How would this happen? Well, it would be this year that Cody finally finished his story by winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 40. And this would carry on for the rest of the year, as Cody would hold that top prize around his waist, defending against all comers and keeping the momentum rolling for WWE. Really, there was no way he could top this in 2025, and that's partially why that year would see a Who are we talking about this time? Who else but Jey Uso?
Yes!
2025, Jey Uso reached another level of overness as he was.
Yes, he did, man.
It seemed like he was going to be remembered as a tag team act forever. Became the top singles act on the Raw brand. So over would he get, in fact, in January of this year, he'd win the Royal Rumble, with him from there going on to dethrone Gunther, World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 41. And from there, Jey would continue to be over like Rover with fans.
Yes, he is.
So really, is there any other choice for the biggest and best babyface that company had in 2025? Yes, we know the year's not over yet.
Nope.
And we don't see anyone overtaking him at this stage in the game.
Maybe.
Puts him right there alongside everyone else we've looked at today as being deserving of the mantle of being one of the best good guys.
I still feel like Cody could take it back. But, yeah, you can give it to Jey as well, too. But there's other people who could possibly go back to that. And there's definitely go there is either could be, I mean, Johnny can't say he's retired right now. I can definitely say that LA Knight could possibly have his run. I doubt they bring Karrion Kross. If he does, that could be him too. That could be him if they want to. I mean, or we have a lady face as well too. I say Io could get this spot. Who knows? But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a toss up going forward right now. But other than that, if you like more reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna skim through the other one. I mean, unless you want me to react. Nah, I ain't gonna react to that. Fuck that. Other than that, it's your boy T-Rex signing off.